Welcome back, witches.
What's up, my witches?
This is another episode of the Literary Coven with one of your hosts. It's me, Lily.
That's her, Lily. And this is me, Courtney.
That's Courtney over there.
Yes, it's true.
She looks pretty cute today, not gonna lie.
Thank you so much. Like
You're
we
welcome.
discussed, I wore all black today because I hated this book so much. I wanted to die.
This book, yeah, wasn't the greatest. Oh, what book did we read, Courtney?
We have been reading Shades of Grey by Jasper Fforde, not 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James.
Kind of wish it was that, though.
I know! Gosh!
Would have been a little sexier, a little bit better.
More exciting for me.
Yeah, definitely. I guess we could dive into some author facts.
Let's just go into this author.
Yes.
So Jasper Fforde, and Ford is spelled with 2 F's and an E at the end.
Which I think is pretty freaking cool.
Very English, I think.
Very. And he was born January 11th, 1961 in London.
Yes.
And he's still alive, so we don't have a death date for you yet.
Yay! We love when the authors are alive still. Since he was born on January 11th, he is a Capricorn.
Ooh.
Which means...
We love those caps.
I don't know if I've ever actually met a Cap.
Garrick's a cap.
I'm just kidding.
Makes sense. We don't like him that much.
No, I think that's just because my birthday and like all my siblings, my one sibling, I don't know why I said all my siblings. My one sibling, like all of our birthdays are before Christmas. Mm-hmm. So I just care about those ones. And then the beginning of the year is just a wasteland to me.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't really know anyone
Mm-hmm.
born in that month anyway. So.
Nope.
Or that time of year, I guess. But
in that month, time of year, exactly. All of it. All of the above.
Same thing.
Under that moon. Didn't know him. But he's a Capricorn, so he is ambitious, pessimistic, which I appreciate because I'm a pessimist as well, and has an impetuous character.
Oh, I like that word.
I know.
I'm
So
into it.
now we also know facts about Capricorns.
I love it. And I read that he started out his professional career in the film industry and published his first book in 2001.
Wasn't the first book that he published, wasn't it called The Air Affair?
Yes, yeah. And I think that's the series that he's best known for. It's like his part of his like Thursday Next series.
Got it.
And that is what he's most popular for.
Got it.
But I was reading that it took him like a decade to get his book published. Like no one would fucking publish it. And finally, it bloomed, yes. And
fantastic.
Now it's quite popular. So
Good
that's
for
pretty
Jasper
I know, pretty exciting.
Also, what book again? This book?
Not this one.
Oh, okay. Got it. I'm saying that because I didn't like the book. So it would make sense that it took 10 years to get. Just kidding. Good for him, though, anyways.
Yeah, good for him. He also won, I might butcher the way that this is said, but I think it's called Wodehouse Prize for comic fiction in 2004 for his book, The Well of Lost Plots, which is also part of, I think it's like the second book in his Thursday Next series.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check those out. They sound interesting. I mean,
Yes.
it's not terrible. It was a good book.
Yeah.
And I'd like to check out his other works.
Yeah.
I would be willing to read the Thursday Next series.
I
Interesting.
would be willing.
Well, I read that most of his books have to do with like metafiction, parody, and fantasy, which are definitely some themes that I could get into.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm into all of that.
I'm into the metafiction. So meta.
Meta.
I also read that fans of Jasper Fforde's book get together in an annual event to celebrate the writings of the author, and they call it either the Fjord Fiesta or the Fjord Fiesta Festival. Excuse me, I haven't butchered this. Ford Fiesta, Ford Festival. The end.
I love it. I like the first one, I think. Ford Fiesta is fucking hilarious.
Comedy gold. It's like they were making a parody theme of his books.
They were. I love it.
Cool. Do you have anything else about him?
No, that was all of my author facts that I had about Mr. Jasper.
Yeah. Seems that author facts usually come out after they die.
Yeah.
And it's all the good factors when all the juice is...
True. I know it's really hard to find stuff about authors that are still alive.
Even when we did Practical Magic and Alice Hoffman, I was like, there is nothing about her online, I feel like.
It was impossible. There was nothing about the book. There's nothing about the author. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Exactly.
Just give me something, please, God.
Like Spark Notes. Love Spark Notes. Love Goodreads. You guys do great work there.
Yeah. We applaud you. We thank you.
So should we just kind of get into the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to. Oh,
Jinx.
God, we're so cute.
I love it.
Do we want to do the summary of the book?
Yes.
To
Let's do the
begin?
summary, and then let's describe the setting as well, so everyone knows what the hell is happening.
Okay. So a lot of the words in this book are like kind of made up in a way, or like they're spelled in their own very unique way, so I may butcher some of them, and I do apologize, but I will do my very best. Unless, do you want to read the
You're gonna
summary,
crush it.
or do you want me to?
No, I was going to follow along as you read it. I don't want to pronounce these words either.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do
Okay.
it. Okay. So, welcome to Chromatica,
Boom.
where the colorocracy rules society through a social hierarchy based upon one's limited color perception. In this world, you are what you can see.
Bum, bum, bum.
But Eddie Russet wants to move up. When he and his father relocate to the backwater village of East Carmine, his carefully cultivated plans to leverage his better-than-average red perception and marry into a powerful family are quickly appended. Eddie must contend with lethal swans, sneaky yellows, involuble rules, an enforced marriage to the hideous Violet Dumauve, and a risky friendship with an intriguing gray named Jane, who shows Eddie that the apparent peace of his world is as much an illusion as color itself. Will Eddie be able to tread the fine line between total conformity, accepting the path, partner, and career delineated by his hue, and his instinctive curiosity that is bound to get him into trouble? Thank you.
You always do such a good job.
I hate it. I hate it.
But I love it.
I panic. I'm a little sweaty right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, God. Let me fan you. Should I feed you some grapes as well, darling?
Yes, please.
The setting in this book is a dystopian society that exists at least 500 years after the collapse of our own society. And when in the book they refer to us, they call us the previous.
The previous.
How ominous.
The something that happened.
I love it, though. All life is governed by the laws set by Munsell. And Munsell is Albert Henry Munsell, an American painter and inventor of the Munsell color system. And this color system specifies colors based on three properties: hue, chroma, and value. Yes.
I love.
And he apparently was the one that founded this new dystopian society.
Yes. And then sort of where our story takes place is in Chromatica. It's in like the development known as East Carmine. It's on the outer fringes, so things are a little different than they would be in like the inner, more populated cities.
Well, and I kind of liked how I really like the concept of the book. I really like
I do too.
being discriminated against by what colors you can see. And it was just very interesting the way that the cities are set up, where they have pipelines instead of like water lines, I guess you could say, and they pump color into the city. And it's just very interesting to think about what life would be like if you couldn't see all the hues that we see.
Yeah, exactly. And so I have a question for you.
Oh my God, I'm so ready to answer it.
So we both, I feel like, have like the same feelings about the book. What didn't you like about the book? Like, what was your big thing?
My big beef was I felt like that it was slow moving. And I understand that it's the first book of the series, but again, there's never been another book after it. So I wish that it could stand alone by itself, more stable, because I didn't really like any of the characters. None of them really stood out to me. Like I said, I only did 3 characters for my characters because I didn't like anybody. I didn't connect with anybody.
Yeah.
I didn't like how long it took to explain certain things. And then when I felt like the details would be really important, they weren't there. The conversations were very short, and I just wanted to know more about the society.
Exactly. Yes, I feel the same way. I feel like there was a lot of really, really good like detail, and he took a lot of time to really explain things, but there wasn't that like pizzazz. There wasn't enough like action for me.
Yes.
And for me, generally, I don't really like first person point of view books anyway.
And I 100% agree, because I didn't like how this was put out, because I feel like you're supposed to relate to this person, but when it says I read it like myself. So instead I picture me and Eddie Russet's. That was I'm so sorry. I hate mouth noises. So gross. But I felt like I was Eddie Russet, so it made it hard to relate to him, because I just wanted to have that outside view, looking in on everything.
Exactly. And I feel like I got to like know the characters kind of, but not in like a way that was significant at all. Like it was like through Eddie's point of view and his perception of that person. It wasn't like I didn't get to know them, you know? And that was really frustrating for me, and so it was hard for me to like kind of Create a connection with the book.
100%. I agree. It had really good concepts. I just wish that it was a little bit more.
Yeah. It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, we made it through, baby. We
Yeah.
did.
Literally this morning by the nails. Whatever
Courtney's
that saying
like
is.
crawling her way through the book.
It was hard, brother. It was hard.
Should we dive into these characters a
Yeah.
little bit? Okay.
So the main character is Eddie Russet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it is because I grew up when these actors were in a lot of movies and stuff, but the entire time I either was like, okay, Eddie Russet looks like Logan Lerman from Perks of Being a Wallflower, Percy Jackson, or Josh Hutcherson from Hunger Games,
Yeah.
and then Bridge to Terabithia as well. So
Yes. Yeah.
those are who I saw when Eddie Russet was around. So
Interesting.
yeah, I kind of had a crush
I
on
like
Eddie
that.
Russet. It's no big deal.
So yeah, I think he's kind of cute or whatever.
He was cute. I'd have a poster of him on my wall, I think.
Eddie is a red, so what he sees is red. And he hasn't really. What would you say? I guess he hasn't taken his test to kind of definitively describe him as what level of red he is, but he knows that he can see like a lot of it. And in this this society, the more of the color that you are, the more color that you see, like the higher up in the hierarchy you are.
Yes.
So Eddie knows that he's kind of like up there and like a little bit better than the rest of the reds.
It's true. It's true.
So he kind of has that like vibe about him, but it's like very subtle. It's not like, oh, I can. He's not overbearing about it. You know what I
he's
mean?
humble.
Exactly. And Eddie, while he is sort of pathetic,
Bland.
yes, he's curious. He has these curiosities, but he's also very like by the book kind of guy, very law abiding. And when he kind of gets to the outer fringes, he's kind of like, yo, nobody follows the rules out here. Like, what is going on?
It's a free for all.
Yeah.
Wild, wild west.
Wild, wild west.
Wild, wild East Carmine.
And he is hoping to marry up to sort of regain the family social status. He's a pretty loyal person. He's pretty honest besides the secrets that he feels that he has to keep to protect people. And he's just kind of dumb too a little bit.
He's a little dumb.
He's a little ignorant.
Well, I mean, maybe we're saying that hindsight 2020 because we're reading a book about dystopia. So he can't see the fact, oh, maybe what I'm living in is not what I think it is.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
Yeah. But I did like him a little bit.
Yeah, I thought out of all the characters, I feel like he and Jane were my favorites, which I feel like they're meant to be everybody's favorite because everybody else sucks.
Yes.
But,
yeah, Jane. I like Jane more than Eddie, unfortunately.
yes, yeah.
I thought she was spunky.
Should we get into
Yeah.
this Jane then?
Jane G23. That's her last name.
I like it.
But Jane is a gray, which means that she can't see any colors. She can only see gray, and she's the lowest on the totem pole. The grays are the ones that do all of the work in the town. They're the ones that don't have an opinion or a place in their place. They do have a place. It's below your shoe.
Yeah, seriously. Well, and they have like their own little like sector within like the community, and that's where they live. No one of like color goes in there, and they're kind of their own separate entity, I guess.
Which I think definitely power in numbers, because sometimes you think that the dumb, low people don't know what they're doing, but
in reality, they do.
They do. They know what they're doing, and they're gonna get you. I don't know what I'm talking about. I said that Jane was badass and spunky.
Ooh.
And I really loved her. I don't give a shit attitude.
Seriously.
I still would have liked more character development for both her and Eddie.
Yeah, I agree. She's a no bullshit kind of gal. She's really fierce tempered. And I feel like I would have liked to get to know her a little bit better too.
Yeah. Like, why is she so angry?
Exactly. Yes, seriously.
I only have one quote from her, and it just was when her and Eddie were talking at the end of the book. And she said, if we are going to make a difference here, we have to make hard decisions, which I feel is a good quote because we can use that in our daily life as well. Sometimes changing and growing is not, it's not cushy. You got to get out of your comfort zone. And sometimes that's not But it's what you have to do to learn and grow and make a difference.
Yes, I agree. And then, the next character that I had was Tomo Cinnabar. I know, fuck Tomo, he's terrible.
Like that guy. Known a guy like him my whole life. I meet him all the time, apparently. I don't know.
He is also a red, and he, at the beginning, when we like first meet him, he becomes like Eddie's friend, I guess.
Buddy.
But yeah, but Tomo's a sleazeball. He's the worst. He'll do anything for a quick buck. He'll sell his grandmother, which he's done before. He's untrustworthy. He's rebellious. He really doesn't give a shit either. He'll do whatever. He talks to anybody, any sort of way. He doesn't care about how many demerits he has.
No, he has no integrity.
No, he was probably the worst.
I kind of liked him there, though, because he was like that shitty friend in the friend group that just kind of keep things maybe like a little spicy, though.
Mm-hmm. A little bit spicy.
A little spicy. Liked it.
I'm into it. And then I guess that brings us to Courtland.
See, and I don't know. I don't like Courtland because his color was yellow, and I have yellow hair, you could say, and my name's Courtney, and his name was Courtland. So I feel like I really related with him, and I hate him.
Yeah, he's the worst, right?
I don't like him.
I put that he's a mega bitch.
Oh!
Because he is.
Talk about spicy. Oh my gosh, he is a mega bitch.
He is a mega bitch, and he's super entitled, and he's just a bully, and he's pretty much the worst. I would say he's probably the antagonist of the book, along with the other yellows, his mother and Bunty and whatnot. But
Penelope.
Yeah, Penelope.
Never met a good Penelope.
I don't think I've ever met a Penelope, to be honest with you.
Maybe I haven't either. I just don't like the name Penelope. Penelope, shout me out.
Shout me out.
Let me know if you're cool.
And yeah, he's sneaky, just like the rest of the yellows. He's a snake. He's a liar. He's only worried about making himself look good. And he's the worst.
He's not very good. I like what happens to him, though.
See, and I kind of felt bad a little bit.
Aww.
Just because, like, when he realized that he had the mildew and that he was going to die, it was kind of like, I don't know, it was just, like, kind of sad.
It wasn't as satisfying as it was for me, perhaps.
Courtney's, like, relishing in the fact that he's dying. And I don't know, yeah, because I didn't like him throughout the whole book, but then when Eddie was, like, showing him the Lincoln, so his pain kind of, like, eased or whatever, he was like, tell Melanie that I actually kind of liked her. And
I wasn't just using her for sex.
Yeah.
For
and,
you know.
Yeah, for you know. But then again, I'm like, well, you kind of deserved it because you're a greedy, terrible person.
See, and I kind of took it more as like a cosmic karma kind of thing. Like you've been a horrible person your whole life and you got the mildew. And I think that it shows more about Eddie's character that he even would extend.
Yeah.
And so when he brings out the Lincoln, it's a color that's supposed to make you feel at ease because that's how they control people in this society is by swatches, and that's how they color. It's cool.
Yeah, it is kind of neat. And then the last person that I had is Violet, and she is a purple, also a mega bitch. She's really spoiled, just kind of bratty, used to get in her own way. And she is who Eddie is supposed to marry.
We shouldn't say supposed to. Gets tricked into marrying.
Seriously. She decides that they are getting married because she's a purple, but she's on like the blue side of purple. And so she needs like a red to kind of bring her back up to that high purple status.
Purple is the highest and the gray is the lowest.
Exactly.
Gotta get on that purple
and
spectrum.
When she realizes that Eddie can see more red than kind of everybody initially thought, she was like, oh, we're getting married. And you are going to bring me up to this social status. And we are going to be the heads of this fucking village. And
Head
she's
prefects.
crazy.
Yes, she seems very bratty.
She reminded me of, I can't think of the actress's name, but did you ever see The First Diary of a Wimpy Kid with,
oh my God, the girl with the pigtails?
Yes. That's who she reminded me of, like the whole time. That's who I was picturing. I don't know why, but just that same mega bitch vibe, I
Yeah,
guess. I don't
that's
know.
so funny. I pictured, did you ever you watched the series of Unfortunate Events
Yes.
on Netflix?
Yeah.
And there's the girl from Prefect Preparatory School, and
Okay.
she's in the pink, and she's really bratty and bossy. And
Oh, yeah.
her.
Okay.
That's who I pictured, but instead of in all pink, in all purple.
Yeah.
So both super
Still,
bratty
yeah,
girls with
yeah.
pigtails. Same
Yeah.
head.
Gave off that same vibe, I guess.
Yeah, Violet DeMauve had pigtails the whole time.
The whole time. Yeah, that's all I was picturing. Like curly hair a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And just a bitch.
Just a
RBF
bitch.
all the way. The last character that I had was just Eddie's dad, Holden, just because I think he might have been my favorite character.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. He was the sweetest and kindest and kind of most level-headed. Like he had his duties to fulfill, but would still, like when he helped the Gray out because he saw that he was like close to retirement, and he's like, oh, looks like you need 3 weeks of bed rest.
Yes, exactly. Because Holden Russet is the village swatchman, which, like we were describing earlier, because everything is controlled by color, a swatchman has swatches of color that can cure your diseases or kill you. The swatchman's very powerful in this society, but they sometimes aren't as honorable as Eddie Russet's dad is, which is why I liked him so much.
Yes. When it seems like the previous Swatchman was like that as well. We kind of do the same thing. So it's kind of nice too that the village had those kinds of people, because the village is fucking terrible. It sounds like the worst place that you could possibly be.
Wild, wild East Carmine.
Seriously. Well, and it seems like that's kind of where everybody who has done something wrong, or that like the head office is like suspicious of, that's kind of where they send them, is to the outer fringes, because like things are so different, I guess, and
loose and angry.
Very
angry. Yes,
absolutely. Any other characters that you would like
that
to
was it. Like
discuss?
I said, I only liked Eddie, Jane, and Holden, and that was it. Everybody else was not worth my time.
Yeah, there weren't that many great characters or worthy characters to talk about.
I do really appreciate, though, how Jasper Fforde put their last names as a color of hue.
Yes.
Because I was learning a lot of different colors that I have never even realized was a color or the name of it. Because it's just pink.
It's
pink.
just
red. Oh, no, it's not.
No, it's not. It's something much more complex.
Yes. Because it's 20% this and 20% that and 50% this.
Yeah, I like that too. I was because I thought they were kind of made up at first, and then I started like Googling, and I was like, oh, these are fucking colors. It makes total sense. It's like the author knew what he was doing or something, I guess.
Why do they always do that to us?
Why do they know?
So what are some themes from this book that you have?
So kind of what I took away from the book was things aren't always what they seem. And I feel like there's a couple instances where I see that. So the first instance is when Matthew Gloss, the colorman, he kind of, his duty is to perform the test, the Ishihara, for the 20-somethings to kind of see what their color is going to be for the rest of their life. So that's part of his job. And then the other part is the reason why he's in town is to figure out who is stealing swatches and who is kind of like doing illegal bad stuff, I guess, and to see what they know, who knows the secrets, and who is going to get the murder.
Who's going to get the murder?
So he's there to fulfill his duty and whatnot. But then when he's talking to Eddie, you kind of see like this other side of him, I guess. And Eddie gives him this hypothetical. He's like, so hypothetically, there's this gray and this purple who want to run off and elope together. And he's like, do you know how they could do that possibly? And the colorman's like, oh, for sure. Like, I know this person. They just have to get, $2,000 and some train tickets and contact this person and they'll be good to go, And then at the end of the book, you see he's like, oh, they got the funds, whatever, they're set to go. He's like, I got them on this train. They're gonna go to the big main city, which is Emerald City. on this train. I think it's the Cobalt train or something like that. But Eddie now knows the secrets of the society, and he knows that that train is going to High Saffron, where his friends are most likely going to die. And Eddie has like this impossible choice to choose between letting them die and keeping his secrets, or giving away what he knows and saving his friends. And so that's kind of where you see like the Colorman. It was all just a ploy. It was kind of, he didn't have any intentions of helping these people elope. He's just there to get people.
Info.
Yeah, he's there for info. He's there to get people who, you know, are doing bad things, who are defiant to the collective. And it's just like, you see that he was perceiving himself as someone who, you know, is a good guy and is trying to help, but like also do his duty. And it's like, no, he's just there to serve the collective. It's not, you know.
Like Jane said, don't trust anybody.
Exactly.
You can't trust anybody.
Exactly. And then the other thing that I had was kind of along the same lines, I guess. Everyone is told that those who are defiant and low in merits are going to reboot, which is where they kind of get like re-educated, and then they get reintegrated into society, but in like a different town, so they can have like this fresh start, clean slate. But what you learn is that is a fucking lie. They get sent to High Saffron, where they die.
Where they die.
They
get eaten by a road.
Yes. Seriously, yes. And it's just kind of like all these things that like they're being fed and that they're told like aren't true. It's not real. It's not as it seems.
And it's a way of controlling people. It's the way of having government control.
Absolutely. What was one of your themes that
I had
you took away?
Government control, and I just had a quote from the book. I used to think the most ingenious part of the whole system was how color and mandate were interwoven. The rules dictate every aspect of our lives, but our devotion to the spectrum give them credibility and relevance. So it's because they've been told that they are in a specific hue and a specific class, and so they stay in that class or try to get up that class, and so they're more worried about their color spectrum rather than what the government is doing behind them.
Exactly, yeah. And the government uses the fear of, you know, the swans and the riffraff and the dark to kind of also keep them in their safe bubble where they worry about their color and their hue and social status.
Well, and I think I also really loved the night lost aspect of this book, because that's something that I never think of is if I wasn't able to see color, I probably wouldn't be able to see at night, or I wouldn't be able to differentiate things, and it would be terrifying. It'd be like being night blind, as they call it in the book.
Seriously, and like a little disorienting and not knowing what the fuck's going on.
Exactly. It's scary. Yeah.
It is scary.
I really liked the control based on the hues, because that's something that I don't think I've ever thought of when I think of government control. I think of more of a fear-based kind of a thing, not a class system based on colors.
Yeah.
Just so crazy.
It is. It's interesting. I never would have thought of it either, but it is an interesting concept for sure. I liked it.
One other theme that I had was the loss of individualism. One of the main mantras for the collective is apart we are together, which is very similar to everyone belongs to everyone in Brave New World. So it all has to do with just being able to control people and having everyone want to be the same and
not be different in any sort of way. Well, they're only allowed like one hobby, and it's like that's just another way to
the lamest hobbies on the whole world. Button
so
collecting, fuck you.
But that's just another way to keep people from being individuals. You know, you have the select list of shit to choose from. Pick one so you can be the same as fucking Joe Schmo.
Yeah, you could be generic Joe over there. That's what I was gonna say. Both Joes.
And then another theme that I took away as well was, and this is actually like kind of a quote from the author himself: ordinary people do exceptional things under exceptional circumstances. And I took that away as kind of like a theme, because you see that with Eddie. Eddie is sort of pathetic and reluctant to become a hero and do brave things. But when he comes to the outer fringes and meets Jane, all of that sort of changes. He's in love, and he kind of wants to show like how manly, I guess, he is.
He's trying to prove his worth.
He is. And so you kind of see that he is generally curious. And so when he starts to build on that curiosity and find out things that he isn't supposed to know, that just kind of builds like his courage and his knowledge, and he becomes like this hero protagonist of the story, and is, he travels to Rusty Hill where no one's really allowed to go, and then he goes to High Saffron where no one has ever returned before, and he comes back, and I don't know,
badass
he's
hero.
a badass, and it just goes to show that, like, put under unusual circumstances, like, we can find things like within us that we normally probably wouldn't do. So yeah, that's one of the things that I took away from Mr.
like
Eddie
that.
Russet. Yeah,
Eddie Russet, you taught me something too.
Yeah,
But only through Lily, not through the book. Okay. I'm just
and that was really the only other theme that I had.
Yeah, it was kind of just your basic dystopian book. Cool concept.
Yeah.
But I wish there was just a little bit better character development.
Yeah, character development, more action too. There was a lot of build up, but it was very anticlimactic. It just kind of fell a little bit short for me.
Yeah.
Really the only saving grace, the only part really that I liked about the book was the end part, probably the last like 100 to 50 pages.
Yep.
That was when really all the action was happening.
When he finds out, when they go to High Saffron,
Yeah.
and they figure out what the heck's happening.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Well, and then the end of the book too kind of was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
Yes,
where
because I wanted them to be together.
Yeah. Well, and then when the colorman sends Dorian and Imogen to their death, basically, and Eddie has to keep quiet or
expose everything he knows.
Expose himself and get sent there himself, and I don't know.
You can't do any good when you're dead.
Exactly.
So,
well, and I guess that leads me to my question that I have for you, Miss Courtney.
Give it to me.
Do you agree with Eddie's decision to remain quiet when the colorman announces his decision to send Dorian and Imogen to High Saffron? Is it acceptable to sacrifice the few in order to benefit or attempt to benefit the many? What do you think?
This is going to sound super bad.
Oh my
on
God.
me, probably.
I'm so excited.
No, I think it was fine to sacrifice them. Unfortunately, when you're talking about something like bringing down a government or bringing down a society like this, there will be... What's the word I'm thinking of? There will be... it's almost there. Casualties. There will be casualties.
But I mean, like the quote you said that Jane says, you got to make tough decisions, and that is just one of them, I guess.
Yeah, there's going to be a long list of things that you have to sacrifice, and that you have to, people that you have to lie to. When you have a mission as important and as terribly burdenous as taking down a government, it has to be a long affair, and there will be some sacrifices that have to be made.
Yeah. No, and I totally agree. I probably would have kept my mouth shut too, because in that impossible question, that trick that he totally played, it's like your hands are tied almost, you know? Like you have to keep quiet or risk giving up this entire operation to make things better for everyone, you know? And I think Eddie realizes that. He realizes that there's more out there and there's more at stake than
he realizes that he can't trust them.
Than two people. There's, you know, the lives of many at stake here. So yeah, I definitely agree with his decision.
Sacrifice. Fight the power.
Fight the power.
Fight the power. Yeah. My one question that I had was, what could have been better? Which I said, character development.
Anything.
A roadmap of hue coordination. I would have liked to have seen the actual hues and like a map of the area so I can understand how far he's traveling where the outskirts are.
Yes. Yeah, the description of it's good, but a map would have been better.
A map would have put it on the map.
Well, and I love maps in books anyway. I think it's so unique and it's so fun to like look at and kind of put yourself into the story itself. I agree. I think that would have been
literally a visual representation of the setting, which makes it so much easier to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
Oh my God, did we just ask for more picture books? Please, we're just going to read picture books from now on.
We'll describe the pictures to you.
Yes. Oh my God.
No, I totally agree. Character development and just bigger climatic scenes, please.
More zhuzh.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a zhuzh gal.
I am as well.
And if there's no zhuzh, a
Yeah.
little bit of sex.
Yeah. Throw some sexy
And then I'll
scenes in
love
there.
it. Jasper Fforde should have taken a note from E.L. James.
Yeah, seriously. Overall, I mean, decent, basic,
Fine
book.
read.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
And then that's it. The end. Really. Yeah.
But next episode, what are we doing?
We are doing Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury.
Yeah, we are, baby.
Which is very exciting. I've never read this book. I know it's about book burning. Wish I could have burnt this book.
Oh my God.
But I'm super excited about it because it was one of those ones that I feel like I was in the English class after the people that read this one. And they were like, oh, we're going to do something else instead to change up the curriculum.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I'm really excited to read this one and talk about it. It's going to be...
It's much better than this, I promise. Darling.
God bless. God
No,
bless.
yeah, we read it in high school, and I think it's one of those books that you kind of read just to get through. But I remember it being good. I don't remember like all the specific details, so I am excited to read it now that I'm like older and like I'm doing this for fun as opposed to a grade.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I think it's gonna be a really fun read, and I think we're gonna enjoy it a little bit more than this one.
I'm going to start it as soon as I get home.
Ooh, so excited. So yeah, that's what's in store next episode for the Literary Coven. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode of us hating this book.
Yeah.
Well, not hate, and just kind of blah about the book, I guess. Not indifferent.
That's okay. Sometimes we're gonna have books like that. That's
Exactly.
okay, but that's the point of reading them.
Exactly. Yeah, and we made it through. We didn't stop. We pushed through.
So hard did I push through.
It was difficult, but we did it.
Check out our Facebook and our Instagram. Search Literary Coven Podcast
Because it's pretty cute.
It is cute. Let us know what kind of content you want to see too. If you want like pictures of us, because you're not gonna get them, sickos. Or
Freaks.
or whatever you would like to see, because we would love to get feedback.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and book suggestions are always welcome.
Oh my
as
God,
well.
yes.
Yes. Won't be getting them off Reddit anymore because that's where I got this book.
Screw you, Reddit. Oh, that's
But if you guys have like some books that you are loving or that you have loved, we're open to any and all suggestions. So please give it to us.
we don't have a type.
No, we don't. Okay, well, thank you guys, and we will see you next time.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.